ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your hosts, Matt Reynolds and Regina Rudnick.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the event of the year. I hope everyone had a wonderful time last night. We couldn't have asked for better weather and company, so very much appreciate you guys joining us last night. And that was pretty cool, right? A different experience. We wanted to kind of have a symbolic bringing it together. So we wanted to have a symbolic thing that we could have everybody participate in. And Becky, I would please let's give it up one more time for Becky Powell for really bringing our vision to life. Very, very special with your talent, and also with the opportunity to involve some of our very own in this beautiful creation that will continue to happen throughout the day over there. You know, here in Florida, when we think of a great representation of a thriving community, of course, as Becky said, we go right to the ocean, right? The coral reef. Such a vibrant ecosystem with so many diverse creatures, big and small, interconnected, and, you know, where different species really rely on one another for balance, for protection, for adaptability, for resilience. They quite literally thrive together, right? Just like us. This one-of-a-kind piece of artwork, this visual representation that when we come together, amazing things happen, this will live in our Jupiter office. Signed by all of you. Guess what? Yes, it is a group project. Okay, not the 4th grade science project the night before it's due kind of project, but a project nonetheless. We will ask each one of you to take your time throughout the next couple of days and give us your autograph. We want this to be a visual reminder of this memorable year, of our commitment to foster and strengthen our thriving advisor community, and our pride in being just a small part of what makes us great together. Right, Matt?
Agree. We're thankful that you guys are all here. We are thankful that everyone made the trip. We know that this is time away from your practices, and we're hoping that we're filling the next couple of days with things that you can take home, you can learn from each other, spend time together, and really just kind of learn and take back to your practices. Right? Our goal is really just to help you grow, and to make sure that you're all part of the same community.
Well, we know what is next.
Well, I can start. All right. So for those of you who've been here before, you know what to expect. For those that you don't, we always take a moment before we really kick off to make sure that we're thanking all the people who have served in the military, had family members who served in the military, and we want to recognize each and every one of you. So if you would, please stand up. Stand up. We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance over here to the flag. Ready?
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And again, really quick, to everybody who has served, thank you. So one more thing that we wanted to cover, we've all been very lucky, right? We're here together, experiencing this. We know that there have been, back at home, there's been struggles. We know that there's been losses in our families. So just for a moment, we'd like to take a second and just have a quiet moment for us to think about all those people that we're missing this year, and then we'll move on. All right.
Thank you, Matt. You know, the power of our community does always shine through, doesn't it? What we have here is truly special. You know, Matt and I spent quite a bit of time in the field towards the end of last year, and it was truly impactful. You know, connecting with all of you where you are, it really reminded us why we do what we do. And it became the genesis of this year's theme, Thriving Together. That's exactly what we aim to do at this event and beyond, to lean in and learn from one another, to demonstrate the strength of our relationships and to challenge one another to achieve the next level of success. And it does really take all of us, doesn't it, Matt?
It does. And we're thankful for the time that we got to spend in the field with each of you. What it meant to us and what it really kind of showed us was what you need from us, right? It allowed us to think about the things that you do in your practices, the things that you need from us. And we came back and we started working through to make sure that this happened. So one of the things that we all have to be aware of is something like this takes forever to put together. It takes a lot of man hours, it takes a lot of Regina hours, but it also takes a lot from our sponsors. All right, so we'd like to go ahead and thank our sponsors today for taking the time for helping us put something like this together. Obviously, we start with Ashton Gray out there, Asset Mark, Bristol Lane, thank you, VUA, Capital Square, Exchange Right, First Clearing, our new clearing firm. We have Impact Partnership, lays out there. Independent Solutions, Drew, your man in the fort today, I think. Let's see, we have Jackson, Lafayette Life, and Legendary. We have Mackenzie Capital. We have ORG Insurance. And we also have Peachtree. We thank Preferred Capital as well as Plan Confidence, someone that you can see in the tech lounge, as well as S2K, Salmons, Simplicity, and Tarkenton, right? We also have True Edge and Urban Catalyst. So we'd like to take time just to thank you all for all right, so additionally, as we all know, this isn't really run by us, right? I mean, I think for the most part, we're player coaches. And what really drives what we do is our advisors, right? So Regina's put together a very talented group of advisor council members, and would like to take just time they take out of their practices to thank them and to call attention to them. So if I say your name, please stand up. Lisa Vinoli. Kevin Chancellor, where you at? There he is. Thank you, Kevin Geiger.
Oh, it's fine.
He's not here. We've got Michael Hayflick. Get him alone. There he is. Gonna be on the top. Denise Nostrom. Where are you, Denise? And then, of course, we have Nathan Ramos. Where are you, Nathan? All right. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you to everyone who gives their time so freely. It helps us. I mean, our process at Peak has always been, we try and come out to you first, figure out what we're doing, what's changing, make sure that you understand it and get feedback before we process, right? That's something that we've tried to do at Thurston as well. We just want to make sure that everyone understands. Our advisors are what makes this happen.
I'd also like to welcome, we have quite a few, we have quite a few first timers and special guests at this event. Now, this is, of course, a year of coming together. So we have folks who've never been to any of our events before, and I'd like to just shout them out so that we. No, one more. No, going in the wrong direction. Yep. We would like to appreciate those folks who've taken their time to join us. Let's see if I can remember all of you. Paul Baldassari from Washington, D.C. is joining us. Sherry Blair, way out from California. Appreciate the long distance travel. Lee Cantrell, one of our good buddies from Oklahoma. Pina Formicola from New York. Jeff Fraticagelli and Jim Turco from Florida/Michigan. We've got John Kerr from here in Florida. Our buddy Phil Lavelle from up in Indiana. AJ Long fresh off the onboarding from New York. Let's see, Ed and Mitch Patzer and Natalie from Indiana. Welcome. Andrew Rogers, good buddy from Georgia. Keith Stucker and Jenna Spurrier from Indiana. Let's see, Richard and Clinton Trotta from Palm Beach Gardens. They traveled so far. Brian Webb from New York. Travis Wesley from Oregon. And we've got Todd Witten from New York. So welcome, everybody. You know, over the years, many of you have heard me say it's one of my favorite lines, and it's kind of simple, but we're not confused. We are here because of you. We respect and appreciate that what you do matters, and consider the lives that we impact together here in this room. Obviously, investors, hopefully each other, and for sure, our families. The power and opportunity in this room is incredible to serve clients, to capture growth, to better our own lives and the lives of our families, and certainly, hopefully, to improve the industry overall. How better to do that than to gain access to new solutions through stronger relationships? Right, Matt?
Absolutely. We believe that it's when we had the idea of coming together. I have to thank the folks out on the Peak advisors who asked us to invest right in this firm. I had the opportunity of working for 2.5 years with you. Right, I saw how we cared about our clients. I saw what we did, how we went out of our way, and I saw what the team did for each of you. Right, trying to get what you needed accomplished. Right, that felt a lot like the culture that we had at Thurston Springer. So the idea of coming together really made the most amount of sense because we already had the same types of cultures. We were already, started and run by advisors for advisors, and that meant a lot. So when we decided to come together, not only did it make sense, but really together we're a lot stronger. So at this point, the Thurston family, the Peak family, we have together about 230 reps now. And one of the biggest things is we've been able to bring a lot of talent together, right? Probably more than any other firm our size has the ability to do. So with that, let's just talk about the folks that are really supporting you at this point. And we'll start with the executive team. So my partner, Rick Parker, is out there, an advisor, as well as CEO of Thurston Springer. A great individual, understands, he has his own team and understands really what you're looking for, right? So you always have someone like that. Obviously myself, John Peluso, right here. John ran, I'll just say Wells Fargo, for about 35 years, was the investor of a firm called Finet, and then ran our clearing firm, First Clearing, for a number of years. Obviously, Regina, you all know Regina, needs no words. You have Jeff Halvosa. So Jeff's new to the firm, started March 31st, came to us, and has actually worked with both John as well as Regina in a prior life, and really has a ton of experience, not only with advisors, but with just operating and dealing with regulators. I am no longer your compliance officer. I know it's heartbreaking. I did my happy dance. We have Karen Coker. Karen came to us through our TS Phillips acquisition a handful of years ago, and what we found was someone who ran a firm, understood risk, and really focused on trying to help those advisors. Right? I think you're sensing a theme here. We've got Chris Muller. Chris. Okay. Yeah. If he stands up, he might bump his head. So Chris Mullen's been with us. He comes over from Peak, spent a number of years prior working with a lot of you at Next Financial and Atria thereafter. All right. And then David Phillips. David's magic man on cybersecurity as well as technology. And again, a great talent that we've been able to have as part of the family. But then what about the people who every day serve us, right? So if you would. So what we've been able to do, I remember when I got to Peak, there was 5 or 6 people, right? It felt like in the office. We've been able to expand not only Peak, but across the entire enterprise, right? So inside of advisors, which Chris runs, Hannah Jackson, are you out there? Hannah's our director. She's probably approving someone's trade right now. Okay. We got Sean Coffey. Everyone knows Sean. There you go. Maureen Duncan. Out of Chicago, you got Julia Haddock, who is in our Oklahoma City office. Sammy Leatherwood in Oklahoma. Brandon Sharp is here. There we go, Brandon. And then Stephanie West, who operates and runs True Edge, as well as here she is, as well as Orion and Advisor Ops in general. All right. Also, then, probably the most important people, right, more important than us, are commissions. Obviously you have Nina, who many of you know. I think she was at Next for a long time at Atria. You have Jared, who moved over from operations and really just took to this. And then lastly, a number of you from the Indianapolis office know Julie Pruitt. So then let's just talk through the people who actually keep us safe. Okay, keep us safe. So Katie Catalano, where are you? Katie's been my right hand at Peak for the past 2.5 years. She's been great. Danielle White, who's not here, she's in our Oklahoma office. She is our insurance really licensor. She takes care of a lot of our needs. Jake Palmer, not here today on the supervision side. Tara Howard, where are you, Tara? Hey, Tara. Tara, who is really one of those people that we found. When there's questions, when there's issues, one of the things that we've committed to when Tara joined us was no NIGOs without an understanding, right? So we try and make sure that everyone understands what needs to happen. And then Tara's been good about coaching people into what exactly needs to be said, right? So, and then Jonathan Frame, are you out there? So Jonathan's the quiet man in the corner. He's the one that not many of us know. He spends a lot of his time just working and making sure that the tracks are in place. Marketing, everyone knows Brian Adams. Brian, a big part of tonight, so thank you, Brian. Insurance, Andy Harrington. Where are you at? There he is. All right. Make sure you stop and see Andy. You have IT and Tech, which is Elvis, really. I'll stand up one. There you go. And then we have special projects, right? So many of you know Lauren Power. Does anyone? Lauren, there you go. So Lauren joined us from... Thank you. Lauren joined us from one of our teams inside of Peak, who graciously said for the better of the firm, right, she can go. So Lauren is not only running, developing our virtual assistant program, but she really is going to be part of our just general operations and our needs, right? So that includes how to build out and service transitions, right? Whole team now behind that, as well as basically just helping our advisors, getting to know the systems and things like that. And then lastly,
training your support staff.
And training, yep. And then lastly is Kelly Raker, who is in our Indianapolis office. A lot of the same capabilities, more on the project management side, and really has helped us through a number of transitions. So together, thank you all for being. Okay, so. All right, she gave me the nod, so I get to keep talking. Our family of offices, or our family of firms, we've kind of been trying to figure out where we're headed, right? How do these things all work together? Don, Rick, and I have spent a lot of time just figuring out what is it that really means something in our industry, right? Means something for you, means something for investors, means something for our clientele. And what we've done is we've really focused on just a couple of brands. So let's just start with Thurston Springer. Thurston Springer has been a full service broker-dealer since 1981. It was one of your old school firms. I think it's Thurston Springer, Miller, Hurd, and T-Tac, and we just shortened that to make it easier. It is, a number of our advisors and are here today really come together. We use the Thurston Springer advisors as well as the broker-dealer, as well as Thurston Springer Insurance, which we'll be talking about here in a second. Obviously, Peak, our brand, right? It doesn't matter if you're with Blackridge or you're a Peak rep. It doesn't matter if you have your own independent RIA and are a member of the firm, right? We are truly passionately independent, and that's not going to change. We also have TAG, right? So what we've done is we've really started focusing on TAG as its own capability set. We're moving Thurston Springer Insurance into that entity. We not only service our Peak folks as well as our Thurston, but also a number of independent RIAs, unaffiliated at all with the platform today. Bristol Lane, this is a consulting tax business I started back in 2018 before I met Rick. Really the focus here is helping those advisors who want to be independent, those who want to have their own RIA, or those practices that just need a little help and expertise. So we do about 1,100 tax returns a year, mostly in the financial industry. We use books and records for about 50 different firms on a monthly basis. And then lastly is TruEdge. TruEdge is the newest. We started that when we started Bristol Lane. It was really just there to help RIAs, right? And we'll be talking a little bit later tomorrow about how to use TAMPs, right? What the promise for TruEdge. But our goal was really to be able to allow independent advisors who wanted to get out, wanted to start their own RIAs, that didn't have the infrastructure to be able to do that themselves. This was one of the ways we took care of them. So when you bring us together, right, what we look like together versus as a couple of different organizations is pretty amazing, right? So you have, if you want to go ahead and start, Reggie, you always have the kind of your general things that every broker dealer out there on the street talks about, right? Before LPL buys them. It's compliance and ops, right? It's marketing services, as well as insurance. And this is kind of bread and butter, right? Table stakes for anyone who can have an independent broker dealer who's going to attract advisors, with talent like you guys. Fast forward, some of those things that were out there that are available that we're now able to serve to everybody includes asset management, obviously through TruEdge, as well as independent internal models. You have fixed income. You'll be able to access a fixed income desk, be able to trade directly into your clients' accounts, and have someone who can help you ladder if that's what's needed. And then lastly is capital markets in general, right? So we have access to the Wells Fargo Capital Desk. Over the past year, we've put together 144 trading. We've put together 10Bs, as well as we've gone out and done pretty significant collars for large public firms. So what that gives you and what it should be able to do is just open up what you're able to do for your clients, right? Go out, look at your clients, and be able to start leveraging these things. But then we looked deeper, right? What are those things that are going to make a difference to everyone's practices? So let's just start with banking and lending. Now through Wells Fargo, as well as through independent banks nationally, you're going to be able to do lending that not only includes PCL lending or lending off of securities, but airplane lending, yacht lending, artwork, right? These are all things that you can now start to leverage inside of your own practice. You have tax and accounting. That's where we come in. We've developed, and you'll see this out on Peak Link, as well as my client for those people at Thurston Springer, in the next week or two. And what you'll see is the ability to refer business in, but also you can make a decision. Do you just want to have that paid for? Do you want to have that built out of your practice? Do you want us to bill the client and mark it up so it's part of an income stream? But no matter what, right, we're here to serve, and we know that a number of you are CPAs. We know that a number of you work with CPAs. Not trying to dislodge that. We're trying to make sure that you have a lot of different opportunities. We do admin and HR. So one of the things that we did for Peak when we joined was just start to operate their HR. So if you have employees, if you have clients who have employees, if you have companies who have employees, that's what we're here for. We operate monthly. We do payroll and accounting or payroll, I should say, for about 15 firms nationwide. One of them includes our firm as a whole. You have family office, and this we'll talk about tomorrow, but this is one of those things that we had the most requests for, right? Information for. Our goal is to make it so that you're not having to say, well, do I have a large enough client that would need family office? This is about making sure that you can offer every client a family office experience. And it doesn't matter if it is simply providing them investment advice and providing them tax advice, but it also is providing them with the succession planning, right? Helping them through trust planning, working with those attorneys to bring that all together. And the job that we all face is making sure that we have a team around us that can do that. So again, we'll talk about that a lot tomorrow, but this was one of those areas that absolutely was a demand. As I think a number of you know, Dennis Palmerini is one of those folks. We've done valuations for financial firms as well as practices for the past 3 years. And it's really been about making sure that you know exactly what your value is, but also coaching, right? Where should we drive income, right? How does brokerage matter different than advisory, right? Where does insurance fit in? And what is the value of that? We also take a deep dive into your book of business so that we help you understand, what is your We all know what our A, B, and C's are, right? We know our platinums, our golds, and our tins. But do we know kind of how much we rely on those boomers that are going to need to transition their revenue or their assets? That's one of those things that we do. So it's not just valuation, it is actually coaching. Succession planning, right? Everyone here should be interested in succession planning, either participating or receiving, right? This is probably not going to come as a surprise, but our advisory group is aging as a whole, right? We have people who are bringing in their, generation 2, like Ed and Mitch, like Richard and Clinton. But we also have people who are actively looking for who's going to take care of their clients. Well, part of what we do is succession planning. We help you through the idea of being able to intermingle with another 119 other reps, just like yourself, who may be in the same situation or who may be great partners. And then lastly, the last two is capital, growth capital. So what you have now is if you have the desire to go out and buy, right? People who are looking to sell their practices, sell their businesses, we can help you with that. Come to us and either we will help from our own balance sheet or we will line up relationships externally and help you go through the process of applying for that credit and getting that done. We have a direct relationship, very close relationship with Oak Street Funding. And we help a lot of advisors just go through that process, getting prepared and getting funded so that they can purchase, they can acquire, and they can help with succession planning. Transitions, I think everyone knows what that is, but we also do transitions for third parties, moving out of wirehouses. So for any of you that are looking, any of you that are recruiting right now, leverage us. We'll help through that process of bringing them into your practice, making sure that their people are trained up and that when they hit the ground running, they can tell their clients that this is a better opportunity than where they were at. And then lastly is mortgages. We're part of a firm called Forte Lending. So what you have is, think of us as a full service suite. If you have questions, if there's something that your advisor or your clients need, reach out to us. Let us know. And if we don't have an answer and we don't have an answer internally, we'll make sure that you have access to the right people.
Yeah, really, what it comes down to is we're showing you what's possible and enabling you to make the decision what's right for you and your business when it's right for you. So in constructing the program for the event of the year, we gave some consideration to some key trends and also some issues that our advisors are facing and weaving that throughout along with the solutions that complement that. So for instance, recently in an advisor practices survey from Sorley Associates from Q3 of 2024, the majority of advisors, over 90% of advisors, said that their top source of new asset flows was directly related to expanding their service offerings, broadening their appeal and deepening their relationship with their existing and new clients. Ergo, our reason for going through that laundry list of things that are new resources available to you. In that same survey, too many advisors said that serving too many non-ideal clients, lack of process mapping and documentation, and poor delegation to staff are among 3 of the top productivity challenges that advisors face. Now this one we're going to hit from a number of different angles, including our next speaker. And I won't give any spoilers, but we have a pretty sweet offering ourselves tomorrow that we'll be announcing, so stay tuned. But productivity, non-ideal clients, and a lack of delegation, we're going to hit those things so that we maybe can make some changes. And then finally, I think we can all agree that digital marketing continues to evolve. Your website matters. 98% of investors are checking you out before they have a conversation with you. It's how your brand, your expertise, and your value shine through on every single touch point. And I tell you, don't just say who you are, show it. Our keynote speaker today is going to spend a lot of time talking about authenticity and being genuine and articulating that across every single digital platform that you have. Really, to sum it up, it's not just about a single topic. It's about consistent, personalized, multi-channel engagement rooted in knowing your audience and letting them know you. I ask you, please, throughout this event, track down Brian or I. We do so much on this front in concert with all of our advisors. We'll have a number of sessions where we'll have advisors who we've worked with closely in the past give you an idea. Don't be shy, please.
Yeah, I think that's a big one for us. So we don't, the marketing that you have today, right, what's available is not one of those things that's a consistent, everyone has it. Thurston Springer, we've spent a long time trying to figure out how to help advisors. We've brought in third parties, but what I've seen you and Brian be able to do with teams is pretty amazing. And all it costs you is the time and effort that you invest in your own brain.